Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 1, Episodes 1 and 2, Friendship is Magic, directed by Jason Thiessen and written by Lauren Faust. I am GarudaPhoenix.
And I'm Radiant.
So this is where My Little Pony Generation 4 started, in October 10th, 2010.
About 6 years ago.
6 years ago. It's been a long time.
Yeah. But we're still going strong.
Yeah, we are. Amazingly, somehow. I remember when shows were like being cut and canceled, or maybe I just didn't bother watching the sequel TV shows, but I accidentally stumbled onto this one, and it's been going strong ever since. And frankly, I'm kind of glad about that, really.
Yeah.
So anyway, we will jump right into the episode with the storybook opening. And honestly, it's great.
It is.
It establishes a lot of lore, the history, and everything. And it's very storybooky, the style it is. Very storybooky, and Nicole Oliver is reading it to you. So, I mean, it's pretty much the same as your mom reading the story to you. Like a bedtime story.
We could just listen to her all day.
Mm-hmm. And it's something like a religious folk tale that was like almost something that would be written in a children's book to scare like little ponies to behave and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they have the Nightmare Night, so it's already part of their society. It's like, don't let Nightmare Moon get you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then the voice transitions from Nicole Oliver to Tara Strong's, and we find out that Twilight Sparkle is reading the children's book, and for some reason she sees like a a doomsday prophecy in it for some reason, despite it being a children's book.
Yeah, well, Twilight does seem to be the type to look really far into stuff.
I think Twilight would be the kind of pony to like look at would see Illuminati if she was in the real world. Like she would see Illuminati in everything. You know, that type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Though
man.
I think at the end of the day she would be right.
Yeah.
Like, whenever Twilight warns you that the Illuminati are coming, you better listen.
Well, I mean, it turns out that she's not wrong.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
Okay, then there's the intro, the opening intro, and honestly, the intro depends on my mood. Sometimes I can stand it, sometimes I can't, but, you know, it's generally good, but...
It's very cute.
Yeah, it's cute. Cute being a very subjective term.
Yeah, well, I think it's cute.
So, she meets 3 ponies who are telling her about Moondancer's party, and Twilight, being an absolute jerk, decides, I've got more important things to do.
To be fair, it's less of a jerk and more of a social, I have absolutely no idea what I'm supposed to do, so I'm just going to avoid this. And also, she's trying to kind of save Equestria at this point. So, I think that I have better things to do attitude does have a fairness to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, but she's basing it off... so I'm just trying to kind of transpose it into real life. It's like, if a person read a children's book and seemingly thought that they somehow extracted a doomsday prophecy from a children's book, and they're like freaking out, you probably think, and they're avoiding all possible social interaction, and it's like, okay, you're kind of crazy, and you're what? I don't know. It'll seem like they are, you know, well, I guess more crazy antisocial, but...
I don't know, I think it's more like she was, if we're translating this to kind of a real life thing, it was like she's on the dark net and she finds like this massive like bomb threat, and she can't be entirely sure if it's accurate or not. And then all these people are trying to invite her to a party, and she's just, I can't do this right now.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, we get to see her in her library, and immediately Spike, his first introduction to the series is that he's the butt of a joke. He's going to be the butt monkey, and he's going to be the the punchline to every physical humor in the series from now on.
It's such a shame. He's so cute.
He is.
Cute's just my term for everything.
Yeah. And Twilight abuses him. Like, knocks him off shelves and everything, ruins his present. Oh, I feel for Spike, but, you know.
I think it's more because Twilight completely lacks empathy and perspective.
As of right now.
Yeah. Once she starts paying attention to him, she's actually a really good caretaker.
Oh, yeah, she absolutely is. So, and we also get to, like, there's a lot of, we get to see what Spike is. I mean, he breathes magical mail. He's got magical mail service, and I mean, who wouldn't want an assistant who could teleport mail and stuff?
Part of me wonders how they discovered he could do that.
Magic next.
All right.
We're going to have to call up our magic next button. And as of right now, there's a lot of things that we can't really explain, so we're going to have to explain it away with magic. It's magical.
Save it for flashback episodes.
Yeah. So Twilight tells Spike to send a letter to Princess Celestia about, the end of the world is coming and stuff, you know?
The end is nigh.
Yeah, the end is nigh and everything. And Princess Celestia is like, hello, what? Those books have gotten to you. Go outside, make some friends, please.
Yeah.
I don't blame her for being concerned of her students' well-being.
Yeah, I feel the life that Twilight was living isn't healthy in the slightest.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not healthy. Socially anyway, but...
Well, I mean, like, people who lack social interactions stop taking care of themselves after a while, and just... Not everybody, but...
At that point, I think that's why she had Spike anyway.
Yeah. Things would have gotten downhill a lot faster if it weren't for Spike.
Yeah, so, against Twilight's wishes, Princess Celestia is like, okay, go to this town and oversee preparations, and for goodness sake, please make some friends. And Twilight is like, why isn't he even taking? She isn't taking it seriously and stuff. It's like, and the chariot, how is it even being pulled? Is it even attached to the guards? Okay, I have so many questions about this chariot, but I will move on. They land in Ponyville, and the first person that Twilight and Spike meet is Pinkie Pie.
We love her from the get-go.
Do you?
We don't really know anything about her. I know that she was important because she's in the theme, but the first time you see her, you're kind of wondering.
Her yet. It's like she's still a mysterious. So it's like we get this rough introduction, and it's like, okay, what? We're all like with Twilight at that point. It's like, what? Who? What?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're moving on. It's like Twilight's like, well, we're just moving on. Okay, so then they go to Sweet Apple Acres, which is apparently a farm that only has apples and who only sells apples and apple-related products.
They have various other animals. I don't think they actually sell anything from those, though.
They have livestock, but alright. Also, we also meet Applejack, and oh my gosh, that voice. It's
5 years later. It's a bit different.
But as of right now, it's like. I don't know how to explain it. It's like the most southern twangy voice I could have ever imagined. It's like, I don't know if I could do it. I'm sorry, but it is super stereotypical.
I think that's like what it is for a lot of animated TV shows. If you go in and you're at the 5th season and then you go back and watch a first season episode, the voices are going to just sound wrong in some way or another. Because at that point, they haven't found their niche in these characters.
Absolutely. So, they do meet the entire Apple family, who's there for some reason. Like, the entire Apple family.
Mm-hmm.
One that we know will not show up for another, 2 seasons?
I think that's about right.
They're just there for the Summer Sun celebration. I'm just saying, they're like, okay, we'll come home and hang out and stuff. So, they leave Sweet Apple Acres, and then they crash into, literally, Rainbow Dash.
Or Rainbow Dash more crashes into them, but, you know.
Or they meet Rainbow, crash. But it's still the truth. It's still the truth. Rainbow Dash crashes into a lot of stuff. And honestly, the character introduction is even worse than Applejack's.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I met someone this way, I would be really, really pissed.
Yeah, because she threw her in mud and she's laughing at her and...
Like, oh, I'll fix your hair for you, and she doesn't actually fix Twilight's hair. It made it worse, and she's laughing. And it's like, wow, and your ego, you're like projecting your ego onto me. It's like,
Yes,
I'm
Rainbow
like,
Dash is very arrogant.
ooh, yeah.
So...
Well, yeah, I mean, Spike is laughing as well, but he's just witnessing something funny happen, but
he's the baby brother who, like, sees, like, his sister's hair messed up. I mean...
And he's an immature kid, so of course he's gonna laugh.
Mm-hmm.
And then, isn't this, like... I don't know why people like Rainbow Dash, but apparently whatever she says turns into gold, and it's probably the first case here with the 10 seconds flat.
I think it's more of a state of confidence that Rainbow Dash exudes.
Well, I guess she's super confident, but then it's like, at this point, like, we're going back and watching these episodes, and then we're seeing the origins of all these iconic phrases, or iconic and or mimetic phrases. And this is the first one. It's like the first one, 10 seconds flat. When I see the scene where she says 10 seconds flat, it's not like super like highlighted or anything, but it's just an underline of her whole character, really.
It's like she says she can do something, and, you know, it may sound exaggerated, but she does get it done in 10 seconds flat.
Yeah, I'll give her credit. She can back up her words, but I'm keeping an eye on you. So, anyway, after we leave Rainbow Dash behind, we go to the town hall where we meet Rarity. And she's in the town hall decorating it, and Spike falls head over heels in love with her.
I see it's like that little crush that 5-year-old boy has on his teacher. I don't think he's really in love, but...
Oh, so it's like the little kid who's got a crush on the older person. Yeah,
like, it's not going to happen, but it's adorable to watch.
Yeah, it is. And Rarity freaks out over Twilight's hair.
For Pure, I think it was.
Yeah, she's so revolted. It's like, okay, don't talk to me until we fix your hair.
Yeah. And it shows a good side of Rarity in which she doesn't know Twilight, she doesn't know where she comes from, she doesn't know what she's doing here, but
you need to fix your hair because
she's going to fix their hair.
Fashion.
This has to be done.
Yeah, I think she is the first one to actually show her element before it's explicitly called out. We'll get to that later, but as of right now, we've seen Pinkie. We don't know what she is. We've seen Applejack, and she's kind of, overbearing. It's like, and persuasive.
Just a little bit.
Is a jerk, or is egotistical.
Egotistical.
Yeah, and
I think she's in a way like Twilight, in which she doesn't have enough empathy to really see what she's doing to other people, really comprehend it.
Yeah.
I think that's the same with like all 6 of them. They're in their own little worlds and they don't see what other ponies are trying to accomplish. Because Applejack, for all her well-meaning intentions, you don't try and get a pony like Twilight to be your friend by introducing her to everybody you know.
And especially your family.
Especially your family.
From Twilight's point of view, it's very overbearing as of right now. So that's why we see these characters as being very super overbearing. But
yeah, overwhelming.
Fortunately for Twilight, I guess, or unfortunately, we meet Fluttershy, who's practicing the choir with her birds, and holy moly, she is cute.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a role reversal in which Twilight is the one who has to kind of talk. It's like, hello, please say something.
Yeah. I think it shows the other extreme that Twilight's not good with either.
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of see that they're both not good with social interactions. But honestly, Fluttershy's too cute for that, so I'll give her a pass.
Yeah. And then she sees Spike and
goes nuts. Like, oh my gosh.
mm-hmm.
So she is pretty much exactly like Twilight, but passionate with animals instead of books.
Give her a topic in her niche, and she'll talk to you for days about it.
Absolutely. So we're done with that. So they return to the library, and Twilight has completed her checks and everything. So they go back to the library, and surprise, we meet Pinky again. And there's a party at the library.
It's a public library. I suppose we're okay.
I guess they rented it out for public function, but little do they know, the party guest lives there as well.
I want to know what happened to the other librarian.
It was a public library, which means that people walked in and out. I don't. Let's not ask questions and just move on. We can go nuts about this, but we do have a time limit.
Yeah.
So, boy, Pinky, where do we start? We all know this person, right? We all know this person in our lives who's super energetic, super random, and sometimes you just look at them doing something and you just shrug your shoulders and say, you know what? He or she is what he or she is. I'm just nothing you can really do. And if you don't know that person, you are that person. You are that person. We do see Derpy in the library with correct eyes.
Yeah.
She's at the party, and there's lots of reused background characters in pretty much every scene. So this town is currently very sparsely populated.
Yeah. But I think they weren't expecting like the fan reaction that they got.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They definitely were not.
After about 6 viewings of the episode, we stopped paying attention to the plot and the main characters, and we're just watching the backgrounds and counting up all the Lyras.
Yeah. Or maybe, perhaps their budget was limited, so there was like, okay, we can only make these number of ponies, copy and paste. It's really easy.
I mean, like, fair enough. I'm good with anything, but it's kind of fun just to watch.
Yeah. And so Twilight isolates herself from the party because she's spent all day making quote-unquote friends and not really progressing on her save the world from the apocalypse.
Eternal darkness. It's okay.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Live with a little bit eternal darkness
eventually, but
yeah, why not?
Yeah, but so they're partying all night and they go to the town hall. It's the summer, so the party lasts until like 5 a.m.
Yeah, probably.
So they go to the town hall, and I've got to say this whole ceremony thing is a bit lacking in the professionalism scene. They have a bird choir. Why can't you get like a real choir? Rarity's pulling the curtain for the dramatic reveal. This town is kind of super sparsely populated. I mean, there's like 7 Lyras in the audience and stuff. I'm like, oh.
Well, I mean, they have to deal with main character syndrome, in which they can't exactly have just them being in the crowd to witness this. They have to give them a part.
Yeah, so, well, it's a plot device. You know what? Despite it not making logical sense, let's just move on. And, ta-da! What? Princess Celestia's not there.
But Nightmare Moon is.
Oh my gosh, Nightmare Moon. That introduction is halfway between awesome and cringeworthy, I would have to say.
It is very over the top.
I'm the bad guy.
But I feel like if you're watching it from a editorial standpoint and a critical standpoint, yeah, it's over the top. But if you're just like watching it for fun, it is actually really funny.
Yeah, it actually kind of is. And honestly, she's just playing up every single, I would say, bad villain trope. It's like, oh, I'm here to
take over the world.
Take over the world, and you will bow down to me. And she's monologuing, and no one's stopping her and stuff. And but I guess it's pretty much how you introduce children to a bad guy. You kind of have to rub it in their face. This is a bad guy. Man, but
so
and
that's
then
how the episode ends
at this point. So with the ominous telling of the night shall last forever. And I think this is the only two-parter that was aired a week apart. So people, I guess if they started watching the series from the get-go, would have to have waited a week to know what happens next.
I'm pretty sure they would mostly be little girls, and so it's like, oh,
Oh
how
yeah,
would you do that?
yeah. I don't know. I don't understand the decision, but we move on to the next episode with what, a quick 2-3 minute recap of the first episode.
Previously on My Little Pony.
Yeah, previously in My Little Pony, that's going to be used a lot more in the future. But recap, theme. Then we come back to the scene. So it's like pausing it for a week and hitting play again. Play. Number Moon is, she's kicking butt, taking names, and she decides to leave?
Yeah, I guess she doesn't really need to do any damage. She's made her points, and these ponies are beneath her now.
But she leaves. She could. Well, okay. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked, but we'll probably never have the time to answer them. Why did she come to Ponyville anyway? Why did she only kick down the guards and no one else? Why did she even leave? And what? Okay, but we will move on. So, Rainbow Dash tries to chase after her, but sees Twilight also pursuing, and immediately becomes suspicious. It's like, you know something. I don't trust you. So
And
Twilight
then
goes back to the library and
Rainbow Dash goes get Applejack. Applejack
gets everybody else.
Applejack is followed by Pinkie Pie, who drags Fluttershy along, and Rarity joins the group.
Yeah. And they all end up in the library.
Yep.
But since Spike is asleep,
And
well,
that
is
was
sleepy,
scene was just so precious.
the big sister tucking the little brother into bed.
Yes.
And what she's technically an irresponsible quote unquote parent because she let him party until 5 a.m. He needs to sleep.
They never really established the boundaries of their relationship.
But as of right now, it's very maternal.
Mm-hmm.
And without the aid of Spike, she can't find Jack. She can't find books to save her life.
To be fair, they probably arranged it really weird in the library. But
She couldn't find a book in her original library back in Canterlot.
Mm-hmm. Who knows how Twilight organizes hers?
Mm-hmm. But Pinkie finds it anyway.
Under E. Which, to that point, they might have had it like AGYQPOKLCE.
So the order was messed up.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to find where the E's are.
Mm-hmm. And, there's that one scene in the library where it's like she lists off the names of the elements and it's all the respective ponies in order. I'm like, that is very in your face.
It's like ding, 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 ding. Good, we're there.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we kind of get it now. All right, let's move on. So they decide...
We've made our point.
Yeah, so they need to find the elements of harmony in the Everfree Forest, or specifically the castle of the two sisters in the Everfree Forest. But the Everfree Forest is spooky.
Because it grows on its own.
And does whatever a forest in the natural world does. For some reason, and they're completely spooked by it.
And it's also the Dev Night, so that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you don't go to the forest in the middle of the night, so that's understandable.
I don't care what mythology you're in, you just don't do it.
Absolutely. But the Nightmare Wisp thingy decides to follow the group, because it's taking a personal interest to stop the group from progressing?
Or maybe it's like subconsciously sensing the elements of harmony in them and deciding it wants to kill them first.
Which is rather dark, because it collapses a cliff.
Yep.
And I think Applejack trying to save Twilight off the edge of a cliff is probably not the best way to showcase you being honest. It's more blind trust.
Yeah. I think, for me, a better test of Applejack's honesty would be like before they walk into the forest, Twilight saying, "Thanks, guys, I got this, I can do this, you can go back." And Applejack just flat out saying, "No, you cannot. You can't do this on your own." we're not leaving you. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. That would have been a way better test instead of trust me, sugar cube. Like,
It's like
oh
your
man.
two flying Pegasi are going to be able to catch you.
Just tell her that. Just tell her, look, Rainbow Dash is there, Fluttershy is there. Let go, they'll catch you. You know, simple as that. And you know, the Wisp is like following along, keeping track of their progress, and seems to possess the outline of a pretty scary creature. We don't know what it is until, it's a manticore. And according to my research, it is a Persian mystical beast. So we see right away that this My Little Pony, new generation of My Little Pony is taking creatures from other myths and other cultures to kind of give it a little bit more. It's fleshing the universe out a little bit more.
They're mixing mythologies. It's alright.
Mm-hmm. Mix and match. That's pretty much what we do. So it's the best description is it's not a manticore at all. It's just basically a lion with a scorpion tail and bat wings.
Yay!
And the group instinctively thinks to fight it, except for Fluttershy.
Yeah, she rolls 10 on persuasion. 17 on persuasion.
It's like, guys, stop. And we all think she's gonna die because they do the thorn in the paw trope. So the moment you extract the thorn, the animal's fine and is not angry at you whatsoever.
Like, he's all nice. He was just in pain.
Yeah, it kind of was. And the hairstyle after the very affectionate licking.
That is adorable.
Yeah.
We need that again.
Yeah, it is. It's like, yeah, we definitely need to see that again.
I don't care what the plot of the episode is. We need to see that again.
Absolutely. But question is, the Wisp appears again and reveals that it was the thorn?
But possessed? I don't know.
Boy.
I guess it's the equivalent of poking something in the back with a stick.
I guess, yeah. I guess they couldn't show it possessing the actual creature, or else they would have actually had to fight it.
Yeah.
Thorn it is. So we move on to a big river. It's a raging rapids or whatever. Apparently there's a sea serpent in it, and it's voiced by Lee Tokar. And my goodness, this voice is super over the top and frankly rather iconic to the point where people gave this creature a name.
Stephen Magnus.
Stephen Magnet, which came from, according to my pony lore research, it came from the Google auto captioning system on YouTube. And it was like someone turned it on and Stephen Magnet was a thing on there. It's like, well, I guess that's his name, and everyone's pretty much accepted it. Rarity, shows her generosity again by cutting her own tail off. I mean, whoa. I mean, like I'd do things for friends, but isn't this like the equivalent of, cutting your hair for cancer or something?
Essentially.
Yeah, but I mean, she knows how to.
A little less so. I mean, I guess it's kind of like it gets her point across, but she could have done something else just as easily.
Well, I mean, she likes the mustache. He wants the mustache. He likes the mustache. Well, did he say it's ruined? Because if it's ruined, all she just has to do is use her scale to kind of like trim it into like a better style, perhaps. But you know what? Let's use the tail instead.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, the tail is pretty fancy. So the 6 ponies bounce along. They move on to a more spookier forest than the forest they're already in.
Yeah.
It's like, And everyone's freaking out. It's like, oh my gosh, the trees have faces. They're going to attack us. But they're trees.
Well, it's not natural in the Everfree Forest.
Well, I mean, if I saw faces on trees, I'd be freaking out too.
Dead of night, kind of tired, haven't slept all night.
Yeah, I guess you'd be pretty freaked out. And the only one who's not freaked out is Pinky, who bursts into song.
And I love the others' reaction. It's like, please tell me she's not.
Yeah,
she is.
Yeah. At this point, it's like expected that Pinky would burst out into song. It's like, Well, there she goes again. But honestly, it's what they needed. They just needed a quick laugh, and poof, the spoopy forest is spoopy no more.
And they're bonding.
They're bonding, yeah, absolutely. As of so far, the Nightmare Wisp is tracking them, and it's done a very ineffective job so far.
I don't know. I don't know what its main goal is, but I don't think it's accomplishing it.
Yeah, absolutely. For all intents and purposes, it almost feels like the purpose of the Nightmare Moon Wisp is to make sure the group gets stronger, bonds together more. Man. But anyway, we move on to a broken drawbridge, or a broken bridge, which Twilight nearly falls off of.
Because she's blind. Well, she's not blind. She doesn't have depth perception, though.
Yeah, she's terrible perception. So Rainbow Dash, with the flying ability, tries to fix the bridge, but she gets tempted by the Shadow Bolts. So, a few questions. The Shadow Bolts claim that they are the best group of flyers in the Everfree Forest. One, the Everfree Forest doesn't seem to have good cred. Two, who is even living there? And three, this is like a classic temptation scene. It's like, come to the dark side. We will rule the galaxy as father and son. But not really father and son, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Classic temptation scene. And
the
fog mysteriously blocks out her friends' voices. So Rainbow Dash is alone.
No.
But honestly, if I were Rainbow Dash in that situation, I would kind of like break out a clipboard and with a pair of glasses and say, okay, you're a flying group, you say. What accomplishments have you made? What kind of trophies do you have? How's your publicity? And, all that standard background checking and stuff. I mean, come on. And it turns out they're magical wisps anyway. Like,
they were stroking Rainbow's ego. I don't think she was paying attention to anything else.
Yeah, but Rainbow Dash already had aspirations to join the Wonderbolts anyway. So why would she kind of quickly abandon that dream in order to kind of like hit it quick with this new group?
She might have seen it as a stepping stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is a group she's never heard of, and they're like offering her. It's like, she wants to, be famous with an already famous group, and it's like, take your chances with us, a group that no one has heard of, who lives apparently in a really spooky forest. Like, logically, it's like, no thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, so it turns out that they were magical wisps anyway, and they didn't even have any sort of lodging of sorts to offer Rainbow. And they finally get to the castle.
They find the stone elements of harmony, and then the rest of the main five, when hearing Twilight stand back, apparently they hear get out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, you know what? Just stand back. I don't know what this thing does, but
like, I mean, give her 5 feet, but
don't leave the room, which is exactly what they shouldn't have done because, boom, Nightmare Moon appears.
And they all teleport to a different tower, which seems a little bit pointless, but...
Well, I mean, her friends were in, like, the adjacent room, but
yeah.
they teleport so that they were they were further away. And Twilight's like, well, really got nothing to lose, and starts to charge at her.
Yeah. Like, Nightmare Moon's expression is just so good.
It's kind of
really?
It even treats like it's like she says, "You're kidding," as if like what Twilight is doing is ridiculous. Which honestly, it is. You're a mage. You don't 1v1 someone in IRL. I'm just saying.
Oh well.
Yeah, but it was a trick, and you know what? Oldest trick in the book. You teleport in the last second, and apparently Nightmare Moon hasn't read the book, so she was caught off guard.
So sad.
Well, remember, this is a children's show. Let us not read too deep into this. But it's too late anyway, because we already have.
Yeah.
So she tries to activate the stones, and it turns out nothing. Well, so much for this. So much for this noise. And Nightmare Moon's like, whoa, crap. I gotta break. And breaks the stones. No! Stones are broken.
Okay, guys, plan B.
And then Plan B. Yes. What was Plan B? A Power Rangers Sailor Moon transformation scene that takes up, what, 5 minutes?
With dialogue.
With dialogue. And listing off examples, too. It's almost like an essay.
Though, I
Like,
guess,
this is why
since
I
it's
think
Twilight
Applejack is a
saying
good
it.
element of honesty. It's like, reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. And this is why Rainbow Dash is a good element of loyalty. Reason 1, reason 2 is like... And Nightmare Moon's just standing like, hello, I'm still a bad guy, right? If I last recalled.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes of a full, like, Sailor Moon Power Rangers thing, which turns out the main 6 minus Twilight get necklaces, but Twilight gets a freaking crown, and they Gittle Beam Nightmare Moon into oblivion.
Taste the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow. Boom. Oh, yes, and the dramatic, no! I have been thwarted despite me having the opportunity to interrupt them for the last 5 minutes. No! If you couldn't beat them in the 5 minutes, you deserve to lose.
Yeah.
Your inept villainy cost you, so you deserve this.
Such is the bane of children's shows.
Yeah, I guess Nightmare Moon kind of struck out in her villain debut.
Yeah, I always like those transformation scenes when I'm trying to think of what the monsters are doing while all these people are transforming.
Yeah, I mean, you normally, if it's a transformation or something that involves like a reaction of sorts, that would have normally provoked a reaction, you would think you're going to watch the scene happen in milliseconds. Normally in like fight scenes where there's a slow-mo scene, so you can see everything happening. This one it's just outright, you know,
In the context.
Twilight is suffering from this is the good guy monologue from after the bad guy monologue from Nightmare Moon.
Yeah, I guess in the context of the show, this is happening in 5 minutes, where in most TV shows, these transformations in the show's perspective of time take place in like a couple of seconds.
Yeah, because I guess, remember, it's a children's show. We kind of have to kind of rub it in their face to kind of get the point.
Just to be sure.
Yeah, just to be sure. Rarity's the element of generosity, guys. Remember the time when she helped that purple dragon out? And Princess Celestia appears.
I think she was free the entire time, and she was just waiting for Twilight to get some stuff done.
This was all a conspiracy.
Yes.
This was all a conspiracy by Princess Celestia to, she manufactured an apocalypse to help Twilight get new friends.
I don't think she
Which is rather
manufactured the
extreme,
apocalypse.
don't you think?
I don't think she manufactured the apocalypse, but I think she knew that Twilight would play a role in this, and it wouldn't help if Celestia got involved.
Yeah, prophecy. I mean, it's pretty hard. It's normally, if you are like this overlordian, super powerful force, and you have like a prized student, normally in your train of thought, you probably want to be, okay, I'll handle the doomsday world-ending, and my student handles the smaller stuff, but we will come to later learn that Princess Celestia is quite inept at that too.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Well, yeah, we'll see about that.
She tries.
Yeah. But then we get to see the uncorrupted Princess Luna back from the moon after 1,000 years. And to be honest, I am not a fan of this design. She looks super young. But the argument could be made that she's been stripped of her powers. That's why she looks a lot younger.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan. And I guess she was corrupted or realized she lost, so that's why she's apologizing. Does she still hold malicious intent?
I don't think she does. I think she lost
So it's like
control.
She gives up. Like, you know what? I surrender. Or she was corrupted by nightmare essence or whatever.
I think it was more she was corrupted, and now that she's in her right mind, she knows what she did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really, really sorry for it.
Yeah. So, you know what? It's a very emotional reunion scene to the point where Pinky's crying waterfalls.
Mm.
And stops on a dime, apparently.
Yeah, Pinky has perfect control. She's okay.
Yeah. And you know what this calls for? A party!
Yes.
It's
and
a
then
party
everybody's happy.
for
Nobody
Ponyville.
slept.
It's a party for Ponyville, and no one is scared of Princess Luna.
Because she doesn't look like Nightmare Moon at this point.
And
So they're like,
okay,
this Alicorn's with Celestia. She must be a good person. And then
and she's not as big too, so she's not as menacing.
And then, when Luna comes back in season 2, they finally get that connection in. So.
Don't you think they realize, like, oh crap, was that really you?
Well.
Like, oh crap, oops. Oh man, but you know what? Pretty much mission accomplished, right, for Twilight? So she can go back to her library in Camelot. But no, I don't want to leave. I've made friends. And really, Princess Celestia's not going to be mean, right? So,
no.
Yeah. You know what, Twilight? You can stay. And
just be
thus
sure
we have we have a status quo for the series going forward. So I think it pretty much did what a pilot did. Oh, right. We have to point out the animation era of the tale.
They're still learning.
They're still learning. But I gotta give them credit. The animation errors become very few and far between as the seasons progress. But as of right now, they're still trying to figure out stuff. Mm-hmm. Some animator must have been like super tired and stuff, and you know what, forgot to apply the correct layer on their flash animation or something. But you know what? As of right now, we have established the status quo for the show going forward, and honestly, it ain't half bad. So overall, these 2 episodes, what is your score?
Probably about an 8 out of 10. It's a really good episode, but there's some stuff that kind of lacks because they can't really get into anything because it's just the pilot, and you're just trying to give everybody a taste of what the show's about, and to do that in 2 20-minute segments is not the easiest thing to do, so I'll give it to them.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I would probably score it about the same, maybe at a 7.5, because the Deus Ex Machina of the Go-Go Power Ranger Sailor Moon transformation is going to be like do we have an apocalyptic problem surviving? Let's grab the elements of harmony and rainbow the crap out of them. Because that solves everything.
It hasn't failed me yet.
Well, it hasn't failed, but it's almost like a cheap way to do it. But honestly, I can see why the fandom arose from these 2 episodes, because it's really good. It's like you build a world and characters into a story, and you can see how they interact. You cause the right problems into it, and you get invested in the characters. I think a lot of people connected with the main 6. The show has the fandom it's had already, because there's different characters to connect with instead of like, oh, there's only one main character. We have 6 main characters, so hooray.
And they all get their little time to shine, and it's nice.
It's very nice. So, that is our episode review. And next week, we will be reviewing The Ticketmaster, the episode right after this one. And that is it. So, we'll see you next week. And this is GarudaPhoenix signing off.
I'm Radiant.